Thanks for staying with us. So we got a mail from a guy who told us about his marriage to this lady that he met in 2007. They had been friends with his business partner before. He married her in 2017, but they had been friends with his business partner before then. He had introduced them. Then he found out that they developed a very close bond with this particular business associate. He complained to his wife about it, and she promised to limit the communication. But he noticed that the communication was still ongoing, that there was no congratulatory message from this business partner when they got married, and that they have business relationship together and they are still doing business together. The husband reluctantly accepted the friendship because, according to him, the wife is emotionally attached. He's obviously very uncomfortable with the contact that his wife is having with her ex-boyfriend also of 12 years, and that they shared so much information with one another. He loves his wife, but for his sanity, this husband is considering separation from the wife and is seeking her advice. What are your thoughts on this? Should he separate from his wife based on the suspicion that there is such close, or should he separate from his wife based on his discomfort with the closeness that his wife has exhibited with a few male friends? One, the ex that she's dated 12 years ago, who is also married, and the business associates that they seem to have such close relationship together. To join the conversation and give us your view, you can call us on 081-764-1679, or you can call us on 090-241-63440. So here we are. And how do we deal with a man that, according to his email, said that he is married to a good woman? He doesn't believe there's any intimacy between his wife and these men. Okay. But he's uncomfortable with the fact that she's behaving like she cannot live without communicating with them. How should he deal in that kind of situation?
For us to be very truthful with ourselves, as we all would love to be. With everything you've said and the facts that are from this story, we can't actually guarantee that she's actually faithful to this man. Yes, many people would not want to agree with that and say there are people who are close to people and, you know, things just happen and then it doesn't matter. But I will say this, how can you have a husband, a man that you've been married to for almost, if not over 10 years, and then you're still keeping relations with your ex from 12 years ago, a business partner that you met through him, behind his back?
You have become bestos.
You have become more than besties, oh. This one is now bestillas. Besto is even good. Lolo. My dear, you know. And then you are telling me that nothing is happening. If you honor your husband well and you know that your marriage relationship is important and that marriage is important, you should understand. How would you feel if your husband had a bestie? No, now, a bestie that he relates with and tells everything that happens in your marriage, discusses every business plan with, discusses everything about himself and you with. In fact, get that bestie's opinion over things happening in your relationship to now apply for you. How would you feel? Women, sometimes we should learn to just not be selfish. We won't die. We won't die.
Well, my own opinion, married women keeping a close relationship with their exes is rampant these days. And it should be declared as a marital pandemic, as far as I'm concerned, because what are you forming a close relationship with your ex? And for this particular story, it's quite dicey and sensitive, because this person that you're calling bestie was introduced to you by your now husband. And he sent that associate to check out the girl for him. Do you think this girl is nice or not? And they did not get any feedback from them. So he didn't get any feedback from them. It makes it look very, very, very suspicious. As far as I'm concerned, they dated and she did not confess. Thank you.
Flesh and blood did not reveal
exactly.
it to her.
As far as I'm concerned, they dated. So,
it's so
I think
obvious.
she could not marry him. Maybe the man was married. So she was a side chick in the relationship. And then when she wanted to become a Mrs.
She decided to keep...
Yes, when she wanted to become a Mrs.
It's so easy
and
to decipher so many of these things.
And she decided to marry
TMO, don't do that. TMO, don't.
She has brought
but there are particles and evidence to actually...
Particles and evidence that you deduced from the story.
Of course you can't deduce these things.
The girl is a good girl.
She said, my wife is a woman of God, daughter of Zion.
That's what Amen. Hallelujah.
My wife is a true daughter of Zion. Okay. I know she's not doing anything wrong. I know she's not cheating. I'm just uncomfortable.
She's a true daughter of Zion and she cannot obey her husband and end those relationships.
Absolutely.
She's a true daughter of Zion and a true Christian, and then she cannot honor the sanctity of marriage and stick to honoring her husband, whose word is law. Are we playing right now?
Are you playing with me?
Daughter of Zion. Amen.
To be honest, I understand what you're saying, but I have a different perspective to it. And that is number one. The fact that I'm married should not mean that I should cut off other relationships in my life. Calm down. Now, this instance is really bothering the husband, right? And she had also made attempts to kind of like bring him into the conversation. I have friends that I've been exes with, and I'm still really close with them, right? And that is because when I was dating those people, I didn't spoil myself. So you were my ex. We can greet. I can see your family now, and I'm not thinking any negative. I'm not thinking that we did this together, we did that together. That was the kind of relationships I had with the people that I dated before I met my husband. So I don't have anything to hide as against people that say, once is your ex, there's no how you people would have. My own case was an exception. I grew up in the typical Christian, and then I knew God early for myself. Okay. So all those things were not in the question for me. So for me, I do not think that there's anything wrong in keeping the relationship with an ex. But what I would now question is, if your husband is not comfortable with it.
Now you are comfortable.
Please calm down. If your husband is not comfortable with it, please, for the sake of peace, right, let it go. However, there are some relationships. So, for example, I got a grant scholarship from World Bank because an ex sent me the link, right? So imagine that kind of situation when somebody says, do not speak with this ex, do not... I would have missed out on several, and I can point that out in 5, 6 cases that I've gotten opportunities because I kept relationship with this person. So I do not think that it is out of the box to cut that or sever that relationship.
I have a question for you, but let me take Fred from Yanoba first. Fred, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
What do you have to say about this conversation? Good morning, Fred.
See, to my own understanding, you know, it might not be any hidden agenda in between the woman and her ex-boyfriend of 18. So it might be like that because sometimes they might be in the relationship before he got married to this man. Definitely that relationship is there, but not that they will have any affair again. You understand? It might not be exactly how the world might think about. It's just that if you are in a relationship with someone before and that person got married, it does not mean that whenever you people see yourself will not greet or that kind of good relationship is not there again. But you as a man, you should know that this person is already married to another man. The only relationship is just like a godly relationship in between you, not any other affair around again. That's my own understanding. It might not be exactly that this person, the lady you are in question is already married. He already is married, but the person that he was with him before he got that married, definitely that good relationship is there, but nothing will come in between them again. They will just like brothers and sisters. But if you don't know as a man, you might think otherwise. Maybe because he's our ex-boyfriend, this and that, maybe something might be there. For my own understanding, it's not exactly like that. Unless you don't fear God. If you fear God, you not go into that extent. But the issue is that relationship is there. They cannot separate. They must keep on talking. Because
Thank you so much, Fred. Thank you so much, Fred. You have mentioned a few points that I feel are extremely important. You spoke about the fact that you shouldn't be bothered because there's fear of God. It is a man, the business associate, so he pushed the story a bit towards the business associate, saying that the business associates, knowing that they are already married, should also caution the relationship they are going to have. So you're not going to be intruding. Yes, you might have business relationship with a woman, but if she's already married, you would manage that relationship in an appropriate way. That is the man. And he was implying that the fear of God will not make the business associates do what he should not do. Okay. And I don't know if I can't agree with that, because it's not everybody that has fear of God. It's not even everybody that calls on God. Not everybody that calls on God have the fear of God. Some people call on him, but they don't have the fear of him. They understand that he will forgive. Their own God is a forgiving God, so they go and do and come back and beg for forgiveness. That's their own template. So we cannot really use that as a way to protect ourselves. However, another call is coming. And I wanted to ask you a question, because you said you have a good relationship with some of your ex, you communicate with them. What if your husband tells you now that I am not comfortable with this communication any longer? What will you do?
Number one, I'd ask why. And if the signs are there and he still insists, please, I would sever that relationship. I would cut it off. Because at the end of the day, we can say all what we want to say. The peace of your home is still very important.
Thank you very much.
So that's just like giving a balance to it.
Let me get Falake's call. Falake, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. A quick one. First caller first.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you very much. From the analysis you gave about the man, from my own perspective is that the man would have probably bumped into the relationship or their conversation. So, and he feels that this conversation is getting to somewhere I don't expect. You and I know that in Africa, when you call someone an ex, there is no how that you people will sit down and be conversing and you will not want to touch your hand or do something. So the man probably will not welcome such relation. The thing is, the woman is the one that has the problem. She should know that she knows where to call it a day. It's not every man that is comfortable. It's not everyone that is comfortable with having an ex-boyfriend calling and all that. So the man should probably investigate properly before he takes his decision. Thank you.
So, we have heard the woman, the wife is the problem. We have heard the husband is the problem. We have heard the business associate is the problem. We have heard the ex is the problem. Oyedamola, who do you think is the problem?
The wife is the problem. Because I do not understand why because she obviously has a trend of keeping in touch with her exes. Apart from this particular guy, she's also in touch with one of her exes that she dated 12 years ago.
This guy is not her ex. This business partner.
We know.
I'm just saying it.
One after the other.
Don't say it's not her ex. I'm not really sure. We don't know that one.
Exactly.
Something.
So she has a trend of keeping in touch with her exes. So I would like to find out if the man is financially buoyant. Because one of the reasons why married women stay in touch with their exes is for economic reasons. They are benefiting, and especially when it's money related.
Some kind of security.
Exactly. So they are regretting that, oh, maybe this is the person I should have married. This person is now richer than my present husband, or they're having financial crisis. So they try to brew a new relationship with their exes that, I still like you, so they can be collecting money. Number two, it's probably because the husband, one of the reasons why married women still keep in touch with their exes is because the present husband is probably not giving her ta-ta-ta. You get it?
I don't get it.
Don't get it. Why would you get it?
The other room is not working.
So maybe it's not firing.
They're not getting to Jerusalem.
Exactly. So she's still in touch. Or it could be that she's not attracted to her present husband. So she's the one that needs to bring it down to the home. If she still loves that man and that home is still crucial to her, if the man is saying, this thing is disturbing me, this thing is disturbing me, it is disturbing him, then step in and ensure he has peace of mind.
What if we're mislabeling a powerful trait of being good with relationship management?
So now, relationship management differs. There are levels to this thing. Now, being close to people differs. We had childhood friends that we were close to when we were teenagers, when we went through primary school and secondary school. We think of them, we're still close to them. When we speak to them over the phone, we get nostalgic. We tell things that happen, right? And then after that, everybody, for like 1 year, 2 years, some people, when they talk again, it's like it's all fresh again. The point is, you are discussing not just business, but personal things with this business partner. You are still in touch with your ex from 12 years ago, who you discuss what happens with your marriage to. That shows that you are not confident in the person you married.
Wow.
That shows that you don't trust the man too and his judgment too. And that shows likely that your attraction to your husband too is dwindling.
Please, let me take a call from Castina.
Okay.
Let me hear from Mohammed. What do you think about this story? Who should we blame? The wife, the husband, the ex, or the business partner? Mr. Mohammed, are you there?
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning.
God bless the program. God bless TVC.
Thank you.
Actually, the major issue here is this. Any woman that has husband, and the husband said, this is what I want, I believe you should respect your husband and your home. Okay. If your husband said he's not interested in ex or friend, not even only ex, now I'm talking about. Some women believe their husband cannot stop them from talking to male friends, which is not proper. Because if your husband be the one talking to a female, the way someone said on the program now that if your husband has a bestie, a female bestie, you will not accept it because you'll be angry. Why are you discussing with this? Who is this person that did call you often? Who take it? So what you don't want somebody to do to you, don't do it to your husband. That's just my point.
So I know Toby is waiting to jump in.
Not really jumping, but for me, one of the things I try to do is to just make the person family member or family friends. Please come and meet my husband. My husband meets my wife.
Well, you have heard those things. You've heard stories.
I've heard stories.
Because you are a woman of...
calm down.
Daughter of Zion.
Calm down. Then there's also the issue. For me, one of the things I can point out from these guys that there's an underlying esteem issue somewhere that we're not speaking about. Because I would ask myself, how many people will this guy tell his wife to stop relating with because he is not happy or is not secure in himself? So at the end of the day, we need to have conversations around the esteem about this guy.
I don't think it's a case of his esteem.
I think let's take this call from Sandra. Think about what you want to say. Sunday has called in from Kwara State. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Sunday, are you there? Hello, Mr. Sunday. I don't think you are there.
I've heard of instances also whereby some women would be a changed version of themselves after they get married because the husband they got married to does not want them to interact with other men. There are extreme cases like that. Sometimes you look at your girlfriend and you be like, babe, what didn't do you?
You just disappeared.
You've just changed. So those are some cases that we know that at least we could point out to one person that thing has happened.
My darling.
So what about things are also...
So she's saying esteem issues. I will say insecurities. So if you have insecurities, if I know that knowing myself as a babe that I am and what I am doing is a other room. If you try anything, it's not my fault. Okay. I know it is not. Like, it is not... You cannot cheat on me based on anything I did. You're cheating because of who you are, your challenges you're carrying on your head. Exactly. It's not me. That's number one, because I don't have esteem issues and I have confidence in myself. I also will not be in doubt if I see my husband chatting with someone, I'll ask, what's going on?
What's happening? Simple, normal.
But once you explain that, oh, we're doing business together, oh, this person is... Because there's a particular woman that always... the woman doesn't even live in Lagos, she's in, I think, Port Harcourt. Always calling, and she calls in the evening late, because that's when she has time to talk. Ordering IT products to send to Port Harcourt. So they're having that conversation over and over again. And I'm like, why is this woman always calling at night? What's going on? Then she now put the phone on speaker. That day, actually, she was even buying the item for her husband. So transparency, there's no reason for... So is it that the man is being insecure? That's one thing based on what she said. I have 2 other questions I want to ask, but I want you to just give me, do you feel he's insecure? Do you feel he's insecure? Yes or no? Is he insecure?
People, I think you want to go first.
Please, I would like to say this. Yes, he's insecure. And I think she has given him reasons to feel that way. Now, you mentioned people, how many relationships would she have to sever? No, that's a totally different thing you're talking about. We're talking about a man that has evidence that his wife discusses past business with these people. Yes, no, that's a different thing. People do business with people and they don't have any issues. Come on, I have a father who is a clearing agent. There are still people who still call him for counsel even when he's not at work. My mom is comfortable with that. When I say counsel, I mean even from out of the country. That's not a problem. But I'm saying where there is evidence where, my dear, how are you doing, darling? Somebody's wife.
Wow.
You mean?
No, now. But the man said that it is stated now.
The man
so let me take...
He has reasons to
yes
be insecure.
Or no? So you're saying that he's insecure, but she is the reason for the insecurity.
If she wants these things
yes
to be
or no, I have
of course she is.
She's the reason. You agree?
Pick up the call.
Moturayo from Agege, welcome to the show. I want people to say yes or no. I don't like... Moturayo, I don't want to lose your call. Good morning, Moturayo. Please welcome to the show.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
God bless the program.
Thank you.
I enjoy the program. What I want to say to it is that the woman, I can blame the woman and I can also blame the man.
Okay.
Why I can blame the woman? Okay, if your husband said you don't want this, just leave it, then follow to your husband. Then why I will blame the man? A man that loves his wife, then you know what his wife can do. You don't need to think otherwise.
All right. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we would dissect this conversation in the line of, should a woman always obey her husband? And is obedience, as in blatant obedience, a sign of respect? Or could it be seen as subjugation? Stay with us. We'll be right back.